If you've ever looked at the source of a web page, you might have seen some code that looks like this, all squeezed together and essentially unreadable. Now, this is actually JavaScript here, but that doesn't mean somebody wrote it this way. This is the result of minification. The code has been minified. This is a process to go through some regular JavaScript and minimize it, to compact it. We'd first start by removing comments. Then we might rename long variable names and function names to shorter names. Then get rid of line breaks and start to combine multiple statements onto one line. A minification is done for one reason: to decrease the size of the JavaScript. The reason that you do it is to improve page load times, because the script gets downloaded faster. The two things minification is not. This is not compiling your JavaScript into machine code or anything like that. It is functionally identical. It's just a smaller amount of characters. And number two, it's not intentionally scrambling it. Yes, minified code is ugly and it's tougher to read, but that's not why we do it. It's not for what's called obfuscation. Now the question is, how do you do this? Well, you could do it yourself, obviously, but that would be very, very tedious. So there are a lot of minification tools for JavaScript out there. Some of the better knowns are JS-Min, the Yahoo UI compressor, and the Google Closure compiler. And many of these are command line tools. They're actually written in C or in Java. You can just download them and run them from the command line. Although a couple can be accessed over the web, like Google's Closure compiler. Let's take a look at that one. Google's Closure compiler can be downloaded so you have your own copy, but there's a version available on the web at closure-compiler.appspot.com. And what I really need to do is to grab some JavaScript of mine to minify it. Well, I have some just sitting in my editor here. I'm just going to select all of it, jump back over into the Closure compiler and paste it in there. So it's regular JavaScript. There's nothing particularly special about it. And I'm just going to go ahead, leave all the settings as is, and hit compile. And over here on the right-hand side, I can see that it's actually shrunk it a bit. The original size was 1.12K, and the compiled one is 595 bytes. Okay, we're not really starting off with a big file, but you can see the point of what's happening. The comments have been stripped out, some of the white space is gone, and it seems that we've done a little bit of tweaking here. However, we can take this a little bit further down. Over on the left-hand side, I can choose to do an advanced setting for the Closure compiler, hit compile again, and that shrinks it down even further to 479 bytes. In fact, Google's Closure compiler is not just a strict minifier. It does have a few abilities inside it to detect code that might not be called, so it's definitely an interesting one to run your code through because it tries to do some optimization and not just minification here. But that's mainly what I'm interested in it for. So I could either grab this and just copy and paste it, although if you see it's also giving me a copy of a file which I could actually just download here at the default.js link. Because the whole reason is that we as developers need the comments. We need that white space. We need the meaningful variable names. The browser doesn't need it in order to run it. It's quite happy with the compacted version over here. So two things with minification. You only do this when you're happy that your script is correct. You pretty much only minify at the end. And two, of course, you keep a copy of the original for when you need to change it. Because while you can unminify to an extent, you can get some white space back. There's no way to get back a comment that doesn't exist anymore or know what a renamed variable was originally called. Now, as we'll start to see a little later on, it's very common to find third-party JavaScript libraries available to download in both the minified format, such as here with jQuery, that when it's minified and zipped, it's 31K, whereas the regular version is 229K. You'd end up using the minified one on your site to make for a quick download, but you can always download and view the non-minified one if you want to read the code.